All right, this video is going to be about our defense. This is against Hard Work. I think this is one of the better teams to show it against because they typically have 4 and 5 players on the court that could score it and play. So let's go like this. We just get a bucket, and one of the reasons I tell you I don't like trap back is because once your head is turned around, you can start court mapping. You can start seeing, is anybody behind me? Can I roll up? Can I take a risk? All right. So we run Z here. We surprise them with Z. So we run up, we get a trap. So DJ's late. He should have been like, as they were dribbling on that side, he should have been standing where he currently is now. So now, since he's late, instead of that being a steal, it's a finger graze. Now, this is what we did do well at the rotations. DJ doesn't get it. Desmond runs out. Ethan runs to the bottom. Will's talking, and so DJ's now the top guy. All right. So, and Blaze walls up. So, hey, that's why I want to take risks and be aggressive because I think we're going to have the rotations and the IQ to save possessions. If we get it, it's 2 points. If we don't, I think we can make up for our mistakes because most teams don't play fast enough mentally to hurt us. So let's make sure we're ready to rotate. That was good there. All right. So this possession is going to be the same. We got to make sure we hustle and help each other. You protect the rim first. So right here, let's look at Desmond. So Desmond, you're deep enough, and he's not a shooter. Darren's forcing left. You're the lowest man. You got to rotate and help. All right. Your feet have to compete. So right now, your arm is reaching when your chest should be in front of them, making them score over your head. So now they're all the way at the rim. So we got to give help because the guy at the rim is more important than this guy wherever he's going to go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our baseline out of bounds defense. We want to bait them to throw corners. So, Ethan, you should be back a little bit because if he throws corner right now, you have to close out to him. You can't close out high so he can't get out the corner. The other thing is, this is a good example why it's so important to see ball and man. So let's start the video. Look, so watch Blaze. He sees a guy cut. And what he needs to do is kind of move his feet. Now, remember, we're in 13. Darren doesn't have any business leaving the block. Once he leaves your sight, Blaze, you pass him to Darren, but Darren isn't in the right spot. He's guarding a man. So we got to make sure we execute. But here's the thing. So now that Blaze turned his back and he doesn't see the ball, we get a pretty decent trap right here. But since he didn't see the ball in the trap, he's not there to take away the block like he's supposed to be in 13. And so they get it there too quick, throw one more pass, and throw it where Darren should have been the whole time. So remember, know what we're in. Darren, you should be on the block. And Blaze, make sure you can see man and ball because we end up eventually getting exactly what we designed to do. But if all 5 guys don't do it right, it's going to be a bucket. So right in here, we had 2 guys not get it right. All right, let's talk baseline out of bounds again, and let's talk our maturity when we're watching the game. This is why I say, like, let's say you're not getting playing time or you got a bad foul call. You still got to be locked in on the game because this is kind of a unique setup how they're doing this baseline out of bounds play with one guy down. So, like, when you see stuff, you need to know, first of all, what did they say? Is this called a tornado? So now you know what to look for and what they're trying to get. All right. And this is a pretty popular setup. So the inside man screens, and his job is to pull DJ out to the corner as he should. All right. And then he's going to keep screening. This guy rolls around for a layup. But the reason you got to be locked in on the bench is because you see what they got there? Is because when they run that play again, we need to be able to take that away. Meaning the Desmond's on the ball. Stedman's job is to take away this block. Most out of bounds players look to throw it to the corner, block, or opposite block. All right. So once that guy sets a screen, you got to get off and get to this block. And then we have a rotation from Ethan to cover number 30. All right. So we got hung on it. We're a little late and they get a shot off. But if you're a good team, because everybody's paying attention to what they're doing, they get to run that play once. They don't get to run it 3 and 4 and 5 times and have success. All right, and this might be my proudest moment of the game. All right, and it had nothing to do with a bucket. So right now, watch Ethan. Ethan's pointing to Blaze, telling him, watch for this cross screen. And then they have a short little conversation, all right, about like who's doing what. All right. Now I could just chill and sit back because I'm like, okay, they've talked about it. All right, so let's see if Blaze gets off of this screen. As soon as he gives him the ball, Blaze switches, All right. And like I said, there could be slightly better execution by not letting them catch. But the fact that we're talking is huge to me because that lets me know that I don't got to think of everything. There's conversations happening on the court, and y'all just going to keep growing in that. Good stuff. Remember, Wings, when you hear me yelling nobody, that's when it's time to trap. So right now, Ethan has a guy that's on his side, so he has to stay in line with the ball. But then he cuts, and he's looking at me now because I'm yelling nobody. That means just go. Got to go. It takes a little too long, a little too hesitant. We got to go trap that, Ethan. Cam, make sure you're talking and you're saying nobody to Ethan because you see the most. You got to be the loudest on the court. And like right now, as soon as you see this, you should be sprinting over there. All right. And we create a turnover. I'm glad we got the turnover, but I want to execute that much sharper next time. As soon as they make the mistake of not having a guy on our side, that's an immediate trap. All right, and this next two clips are gonna be like whoever's running top. So Will does a good job. I want him in a speed dribble right at Blaze. Blaze, you should be in front of him. All right, at the 3-point line, because if he dribbles up, I want that to be a trap between you two. Remember, at the beginning of the game, I said, "Hey, this is an athletic team. I think they're gonna attack." So I put, Blaze can move his puppies when he decides to, so I could get him to move laterally, and Will speeds him up. And with his length, look at that. They throw it out of bounds or throw it back court. We get the ball. So if you play top, listen, I'm about to give you a little cheat code on how to get more steals and deflections. If you, everybody just watch carefully. So when guys have their chest facing their teammate, they're either throwing a 12 o'clock or a 5 o'clock. What you do is you bait the 12 so they have to throw it over your head. And if he's a good guard, he's going to try to throw around you. It's going to be a bounce pass. So always choose 5 o'clock. So right now, just know, Will, they're not going to throw a 3, meaning keeping it in the air, and they're not going to throw a 1. So if you position your hands and just guess a little lower, you'll get deflection. So that's 1. All right, he faces his teammate. Your hands are still high at 3. You got to choose 5 and you'll get a deflection. See what I'm saying? The same thing. He finally throws a 12. All right, up, you get him moving and you made him travel. But if you start getting deflections and start anticipating the 5 o'clock instead of the 3, you're going to have steals and nobody's going to be able to stop you if you get steals at half court. All right, we're going to touch on man-to-man defense a little bit. So first of all, we want to meet them up here so we keep them on the sidelines. All right, so because we want to establish you're going to play on the left side of the floor. So Ethan, don't run all the way back. All right, but nonetheless, you do pretty good defense right here. You're keeping them over there. Now, when they do this handoff, you got to keep them on that side. If you keep him over there, he has no space to go back where Blaze and the other guy are. But you let him get around right. All right. And that's how come they got a foul. They put us in a bad position because they were able to get a shot up. All right. So he never should have got right where he can attack. Most players attack right. They don't attack left. They dribble left. They don't attack left. So make sure you keep them on this side of the floor over here. All right. Stedman on here. Stay locked in defensively. We always force left. All right. If nothing else, let's say it's a lefty, we'll guard straight up. But we're forcing left. And this is a right-handed dude. And like I said, he'll go right. And if he's a stronger player, he can throw this pass. He could throw it out to the corner. He could do a lot of plays, but he's just gonna shoot it, all right, or throw a bad pass. But it's not because of our defense. I want us to create turnovers on purpose. All right, force left. All right, Alex. So this is the play that I had to get you just because, we haven't practiced man-to-man enough for you to know it. But that ball's way over there, and you're coming up the left sideline. We want the ball over there. So you should be going in help, trying to bait them to throw it more to this side. So since you're so wide, this is too much space for Ethan to be forcing left and not have any help. So now he attacks. I was getting on you, so you went late, and now you're in no man's land. So your guy has gone and went way over there because you're out of position. All right, and like I said, you'll get it. I just want you to get a visual of what it was that you did wrong. But let's go ahead and fast forward it because I want you to see how you still came in and strapped the 3 before coming out. But that's a big time shot. Hey, but defensively, you got to know where to be. All right, so this is an example of a player kind of panicking because they didn't take it serious enough early on. 3:37 on the clock, so they get 10 seconds to cross. So he's dribbling really slow, just kind of being cool and surveying. And then after it got to about 5, in his head, it's been 7. So I'm like, Ethan, let's go trap. All right. So Ethan starts to trap, DJ's up, and watch how Cam's knees are bent and he's reading. Blaze is perfect. He's in line with that diagonal person because when we trap, that's what's vulnerable. And if he throws it over Blaze's head, Blaze can run and contest that. So now he only got 3 seconds left. He's panicking. He's like, I got to cross. All right. And you notice Cam's over here reading, and then we get a push off, and then we score. So let's just play it in fast. Look at Cam at the back, reading. All right. They get a push off, and we get a turnover. Good stuff. All right. So this one, transition defense isn't bad. We go. Blaze walls up. All right. Now, this is what we got to read. Blaze is the last guy back. Blaze, you're a really good rebounder, but you still got to balance the floor. So we got 4 guys ahead of you. We're on a break. Right now, you have to get back. It's not even a question. All right. Unless there's like 4 seconds left on the clock and you just going to try to rebound and put it back. You got to get back and check break. But you crash and you're not thinking that I'm the last guy back. So now we got what? Everybody below the free throw line. So now we really got to bust it to get back here and save this possession. All right. So y'all do. But at the end of the day, like we got to do that. Now, right here, Des, this is when I got on you. The ball is coming. The whistle blows right about now. I'm thinking this is obviously a short pass. You got to put your right foot in the ground and start sprinting back. If not to steal the ball, at very least to get back in transition and help us try to defend this turnover. Because it's 32-36. We're down at this point. We can't afford for you to kind of keep trotting and jogging. And so, like I said, it doesn't look like a big thing there, but your instincts have to show up in that scenario and say, oh, I read the ball that it was short and I got to get back. So let's make sure we do, we're focused when we're in transition on both sides of the floor, offensively and defensively, but especially defensively.